Welcome to a Next Stop to Zero breakout session, Getting Started, an overview of ZEV TruckStop and ZEV 101 web resources. My name is Olivia Lane, and I work for the California Air Resources Board, or CARB. I work mostly on outreach and creating resources that help folks understand and learn about our regulations and funding programs. The Next Stop to Zero event series is an educational training series developed by CARB in an effort to introduce medium and heavy-duty trucking fleets and single truck owner-operators to zero-emission technology. Past events have covered topics such as zero-emission funding opportunities, technology overviews, and much more. Today, I'm going to be giving a tour of CARB's ZEV TruckStop and ZEV 101 webpage resources. I will cover how to navigate to and around these web pages to take advantage of the many resources available. ZEV TruckStop and ZEV 101 were designed to be a starting point for anyone who knows little to nothing about zero-emission technology and who might want to know how to come up to speed. Topics that are covered in these web pages range from things like commonly used terminology and acronyms, different available technologies, California's plan for zero-emission vehicles, and steps that need to be taken to make the transition to zero-emission vehicles. This is the ZEV TruckStop website. It is your one-stop shop for all things medium and heavy-duty zero-emission truck. There's a number of ways you can navigate to this website. You can type in your search bar arb.ca.gov/ZEV TruckStop, and the website will pop right up. You can also search using Google. You'll want to type in a couple words such as CARB and ZEV TruckStop, and it will most likely be the first thing that pops up in your Google search results. Another way you could do it is if you're on the CARB homepage, you can scroll down to popular resources, and you'll see that TruckStop is one of the popular resources. If you've been around for a while, you'll know that TruckStop has been that one-stop shop for all things regulations and funding from CARB when it comes to trucks. You'll find lots of different resources here. You'll get links to regulation homepages such as the truck and bus regulation, the Clean Truck Check regulation webpage, and also the TRU regulation. If you scroll to the top, you'll see that ZEV TruckStop is linked there as one of the resources, and that's another way to navigate to ZEV TruckStop. The next thing you'll notice on ZEV TruckStop is a grid highlighting various topics. The first link is to the ZEV 101 webpage, Get Up to Speed. This is the webpage that we'll dive into most today. It's where you're going to start to find the information you're going to need to understand and get started in your transition to zero-emission vehicles. So we'll come back to that one. The next link is a section that covers all of the different zero-emission related incentive and funding programs that are available. As you can see, the first resource linked here is the Funding Finder tool. It's a really great resource to enter your zip code and other criteria to figure out what funding programs might work for you. We also have listed out the other incentive programs that are available. Next, you will have an option to explore the CARB regulations relating to zero-emission trucks and buses. On this page, you will find an overview of each regulation and links to find more information on each program. Below that, we have a link to the Cal Fleet Advisor program. This is a new technical assistance program where participants can get individualized guidance on navigating zero-emission trucks. This is a really great program, and after you get educated through the resources on ZEV TruckStop, I really suggest that you come to Cal Fleet Advisor and enroll in the program so that you can get an individualized action plan and figure out what steps you need to take to make your transition. Next, we have a web page that lays out information on the zero-emission trucks that are available in the market today. On this web page, you can find links to tools and resources meant to help users find the right vehicle for them. The next item you'll see is a link to the training and events webpage. You can find links to upcoming events or recordings of past events. This is also where you'll find the previous Next Stop to Zero education events. You can find recordings of them on the YouTube channel. And you can also go through the schedule and find the bookmarks so that you can jump ahead to the topic that's interesting to you. Below that, we have the partners section. This provides an overview of the partners in this space, including industry, government, and community partners. You may recognize some of these groups already, or you might run into them a lot in the future. For example, California Energy Commission, GoBiz, CalSTART, our air districts throughout the state, and more. The next resource we will highlight is the infrastructure webpage. This page highlights links to resources that detail different infrastructure requirements, planning resources, and available funding opportunities. Lastly, we link to the Sustainable Fleets program. This is a new program set up to allow for recognition for the fleets going above and beyond when it comes to adopting zero-emission trucks, and it will act as a resource for shippers who are looking to hire these fleets. Below the grid, you will see links to other popular resources. One I will point out is the Advanced Clean Fleets Regulation Fact Sheets. On this page, you'll find several fact sheets. For one, there's a summary of the regulation, and it's also available in Spanish and Punjabi. As we implement the regulation, there will be several fact sheets added to this webpage that will help folks understand the regulation and how it might pertain to them. Moving back up to the top of the grid, we will now dive deeper into the ZEV 101 webpage. There are 5 sections currently available: zero emission terms to know, battery electric vehicles, hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles, California's plan for zero emission vehicles, and steps to transition. Zero emission terms to know. This page offers an incomplete list of commonly used terminology and acronyms. When jumping into a new subject, it's always good to have a resource of commonly used terms so you can ensure you always know what's being discussed. So you'll click Learn More, and then you can explore this information. For example, one of the first terms we define is zero emission vehicle, or ZEV. Below the list of terms, you will find links to more helpful resources. Many of these are light duty focused, but they will still be helpful as you dive into this information. Battery electric vehicle 101. This page is where you'll learn the basics of battery electric vehicles. You can learn at a high level how charging works for battery electric vehicles, or BEVs, and explore resources that dive into more specifics. Next, we lay out what the benefits of battery electric vehicles might be. We discuss potential upsides of the technology over diesel, like higher fuel efficiency, lower cost of ownership, fewer moving parts and less maintenance, no harmful emissions, and a more responsive motor, and a quieter and smoother ride. Again, we include several external resources to dive more into this topic. Next, we lay out the potential limitations of battery electric vehicles. We aim to give an honest and upfront foray into potential downsides, shorter ranges, higher upfront costs, and costly charging infrastructure may be potential downsides to consider when choosing battery electric for your zero emission technology. But these downsides are often not as insurmountable as they first may seem. There are several resources available to overcome these barriers. If you follow the link to the ZEV TruckStop incentive and funding webpage, you can browse the different options that are available to overcome these barriers, such as the upfront cost. Next, we have a page diving into Hydrogen Fuel Cell Electric Vehicle 101. It covers the basics of hydrogen electric vehicle technology, so click Learn More to visit this section. Like the battery electric section, it details how fueling works, the benefits of the technology, and its potential limitations. Benefits include fewer harmful emissions, refueling speed, operating conditions, and safety, and we provide links to more information. We also discuss the limitations of hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles, such as high upfront costs, a steadily growing but currently limited refueling statewide infrastructure system, and currently higher refueling costs. Though these high costs are expected to drop drastically as vehicle production increases. Again, we offer links to overcome these to resources to overcome these challenges. For example, the Energize program is a new funding program available in California offering incentives for fueling infrastructure for medium and heavy duty zero emission technology. The next topic is California's plan for zero emission vehicles. On this page, we go over info about why and how California is planning to transition medium and heavy duty vehicles to zero emission technology and what the market currently looks like today. Click Learn More to visit this section. We answer questions such as, why is California pushing the transition to zero emission trucks? How can fleet owners afford to own and operate ZEVs? And what does the market look like today? Some important facts to note, there are over 100 Class 2B through 8 commercial zero emission vehicles available in North America. Also, 17 other states in the United States, the District of Columbia, and one province in Canada have signed a multi-state memorandum of understanding to work together to develop a self-sustaining market for medium and heavy-duty ZEVs. 6 states, in addition to California, have also adopted California's Advanced Clean Trucks rule, mandating the phase-in of zero-emission truck sales in their states. We also discuss how California plans to set up the infrastructure needed for this ZEV transition and highlight some of the important work that is going on through many of our key partners. The last page I will dive into, and maybe the most helpful when getting started, is the Steps to Transition page. This page is designed to help you know where and how to start taking action and make the transition towards building a zero-emission fleet. We outline and provide resources for 9 steps to take when transitioning your fleet to zero-emission technologies. Click Learn More to dive in. Step 1 is to learn about zero-emission vehicles. Things like, what are the terms used? What technology is available? What are the benefits, costs, investment requirements of certain technologies? You can read pages listed in the resources below, or watch videos of pre-recorded training sessions and presentations to get started. Step 2 is to identify your fleet needs. Something incredibly important to do early on when making this transition to ZEVs is to determine what your fleet's specific needs are. How far do you typically drive per day? Are you doing local or long haul? When and where is your vehicle downtime? Does the vehicle come back to a yard or depot at the end of the shift? All of these are important considerations that will factor into just exactly what sort of vehicle you may need, as well as what refueling solutions may work best for you. Avoiding underestimating or overestimating your needs through informed decision-making can save you big money later on down the road. There are really great tools available that aim to help you with this step. We have listed a few here for you to explore. Step 3, define your team and contact your utility. If going to battery electric, building a team of knowledgeable members is crucial to maximize success. Potential team players include the fleet manager or owner, the electric utility, the dealer, and the vehicle manufacturer. You might also have to work with charger manufacturers, a design engineering firm or consultant, and staff on any incentive program you might utilize, and the permitting agency or authority having jurisdiction. Working with your utility as early in the process as possible to avoid potential problems. Several resources are available to help you get started, including the Energize Infrastructure Readiness Center. On this webpage, you can find tools, sign up for workshops, and webinars. Step 4 is to choose a vehicle. Knowing what vehicles exist on the market is important, and there are more vehicles available than you may realize. Luckily, there are tools available to help you find them. There are a couple great catalogs available. If you hope to receive CARB funding, check out the HVIP vehicle catalog. You'll be able to view all the available ZEVs eligible for vouchers now. Once you are there, you can sort by vehicle body or manufacturer, among other things. We also have a video sharing a market overview provided by CalSTART. Step 5 is to plan, timeline, and permitting. Building charging infrastructure takes time to plan, develop, and deploy. Acquiring your new vehicle from the manufacturer can also take time. Plan early to stay ahead of the game. At this stage or even earlier, you may want to utilize Cal Fleet Advisor. Experts can help you create an individualized plan for your transition to a zero-emission fleet. Step 6 is to plan for financing and apply for funds. There's no question that transitioning to zero-emission vehicles is an investment. However, there are multiple options for financing and available incentives. A great place to start is using the Funding Finder tool. You can search and filter for medium and heavy-duty alternative fuel vehicle and infrastructure funding programs that might work for you. You can enter your zip code, county, and other criteria to get individualized options. We also have a YouTube video embedded here where you can learn about the different funding opportunities, and also you can get an overview of HVIP and Energize through a video format. Step 7 is to build out infrastructure. If you're not going to be using public infrastructure, you may need to decide if a build out is necessary. This will depend on your fueling strategy, fleet size, technology used, charging equipment, your access to the grid, and your power demand. New battery electric charging equipment will vary in cost and depend on the required utility upgrades. Transformers, trenching, conduit, station installation, charge management, and any energy storage or generation like solar all needs to be considered. Utilizing the Energize program is a great way to get started to overcoming the cost barrier. Visit the Energize Infrastructure Center to get started. You can also watch a video from one of our previous Next Stop to Zero events where we talk about charger selection. Step 8 is to ensure driver and maintenance staff training. Including the operator early in the process and getting feedback is a good way to ensure a successful transition for your business. Having a well-trained operator can maximize the efficiency of your ZEV and make a big difference in how the vehicle is able to perform. Run on Less electric truck education bootcamp training is a great option when getting started. It is completely free, and you can sign up for a live class or watch one of their recordings from previous classes. All right, and the last step, get recognized for your efforts. I mentioned already the Sustainable Fleets program. It is free for California fleets. You will earn recognition for achieving zero emission vehicle targets. You'll be able to access resources to help you achieve your sustainability goals. You could get hired by a shipper who is committed to clean transportation and hiring zero emission trucks. We have a video overview embedded on this webpage. It's 25 minutes long, and it'll give you a quick overview of the Sustainable Fleets program. All right, that concludes your steps to transition. Obviously, this is just resources to get started and give you an overview. So this concludes our overview of the ZEV 101 page. Remember that information does not start and end on these websites. It is just a place to get started and get entry-level resources and knowledge. And remember, there is more detailed information on regulations and incentive funding that can be found on the ZEV TruckStop homepage. This concludes the Next Stop to Zero breakout event. Thank you all for tuning in. Stay tuned for more educational content to come.